15 minutes, and then we'll restream the entire thing. So there will be radio silence at 2 o'clock Central today. And then we will, Alex Jones reporting from Insane Asylum Earth. I'm living here with a group of people who want freedom. The planet's been overtaken by preening demonic peacocks who endlessly seek for power, trinkets, and golden tinfoil to festoon their beaks with. I'm watching them decimate the planet and release biological plagues upon themselves while they gibber like demonic monkey goblins. I'm not sure, but I certainly understand that we are entering the twilight zone here. Jaron likes what I just said. It's all true. So I'll continue from Insane Asylum Earth. I may be one of the last sane people alive, with you as well, but in the kingdom of insane people, the sane are insane. I guess to the Aztecs, I would be insane, saying, don't kill your child. The winged serpent doesn't exist. It's like the Easter bunny. They'd say, Easter what? Bunny what? We'll be right back after this transmission, after this rant with your call. Stay with us.
And Alex, if it's all right with you, I want to get into the Obama birth certificate in a second, but let's just take a couple of calls here. Pervez is in Rochdale. Pervez, what do you want to say?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I'm so proud of Alex. The gentleman speaks so loudly and speaks so truthfully. I was coming back I'm from Kenya originally, and I came to England as a 12-year-old child. Mm-hmm. And I was in the British Territorial Army, and my younger brother was in Royal Air Force for 7.5 years, a nautical engineer. So we have played the part with the forces. And I was in Kenya, coming back from Kenya in 1999. I met another Asian gentleman who was flying out to Uzbekistan. And we were just two people sitting at the airport in reception having a chat. And I asked him where he was off to, and he said, I'm going to Uzbekistan. I said, why? He said, because they found oil, and I'm an engineer, I dig oil. And he told me that 3 countries have found oil, and the oil pipeline was supposed to go through Afghanistan into Karachi in Pakistan. This conspiracy 9/11 it's totally planned to stop the pipeline going into those 2 countries.
Well, you don't know that. You're just guessing.
No, I'm telling you the truth.
Hang on, you're telling me that Rochdale are announcing the official version this evening?
Yep.
Well, let me comment on this. Let me comment on this.
Come on, Alex.
Actually, it was a trifecta of issues. And we actually have now 2 books written by Zbigniew Brzezinski, who was the architect of the original Afghan war against the Soviets. He really kicked it off with the planning in 79, 80. He's written 2 books specifically on the subject. He wrote one in 97 called The Grand Chessboard. And he basically said you cannot allow the stands to bring their oil out to the sea, and you've got to take over Pakistan and Afghanistan, or at least destabilize them and have an excuse to get U.S. troops in there, or the Chinese are going to dominate the region and get the fuel and energy supplies that they need. So the trifecta is this. In Afghanistan alone, not mentioning the other 7 stands around it, in 2000 numbers, this was released by the World Bank, there's $4 trillion. That number's a lot higher now because prices have gone up, in discovered oil fields, oil supplies. $4 trillion conservatively in U.S. dollars, and that was back then. Obviously, they're devalued now, so it's more. Also, there's $500 billion a year in opium, 93% of opium production for heroin. The precursor to heroin comes out of there. Only 10% came out until the liberation. And I have Fox News where they admit the U.S. troops and British troops helped grow the opium and supply them the fertilizer that shipped into our country. And if you're doubting me, just type Geraldo Rivera, U.S. Marines helping grow opium, and then they now just admit it.
The fact that here you have one of the best fighting forces in the world ever mounted, and in a sense you're watching as this opium is being grown. I know it grinds at your gut. How do you deal with it? What are you doing about it?
Well, frankly, this is a part of their culture. So while it might grind in my gut, it's what they do.
I also heard BBC once on the radio on my XM admit it. They're now just throwing it in our face like we're dumb. Oh, by the way, we're growing it, but we're fighting drugs. So if we catch you with it, you're going to prison. But side issue, they got to keep the drugs illegal to keep the price up. So it's about the 500...
Let me just come in there. Isn't that also about the fact that the opium has been, rightly or wrongly, the only crop in that region for people to make a living?
Is that why production went up?
The Allies are kind of stuck. What do they do here? Are they meant to be starving out the entire place? They're not there as a police force for the average law-abiding Afghani. They are there for other reasons. What do they do?
The Northern Alliance...
a hard place.
Mohammed Karzai's brother is the largest narcotics trafficker. That's New York Times. The Northern Alliance were the people that controlled the opium before. The real Taliban, the real Muslim people that were running it, shut down almost all opium production. The West went in, took it over to shut down the pipeline of Unocal being built, and they went in to get control of the $500 billion a year, and production went up 13-fold. It's now 93% of world production, and they give them the fertilizer and guard it, and then it's loaded on aircraft and flown into Europe, Russia, and the United States and the rest of the world. The only opium dealers and heroin dealers that are busted are people buying it from Southeast Asian Golden Triangle suppliers, now not controlled by the Anglo-American power axis. The British Empire financed itself in 16 and 1700 with the opium.
Long while ago. Well, let's listen. We'll take another call here. Thank you, Pervez. This is Elizabeth in Lincolnshire.
It's about menacing China, controlling the area. It's about drug money, and it's about the oil. There's the trifecta. Sorry, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, Elizabeth.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
I was just wanted to ask, Alex, I know it sounds a silly question, really, but I've looked a little bit at the subject of sex trafficking, and
run.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because just recently there was a lady who happened to be an American soldier, and she worked for the UN, and she stumbled across something, and she was saying that actually the UN are behind the sex trafficking. And I thought, the more I've looked at it, it sounds ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, that's no. That's like stumbling. No. That's like stumbling over. That's like.
Come on, Alex. That's a story.
That's like stumbling over the ground. Okay, I will bet you £1 million. I'm not playing right now that the UN has been caught in more than 10 countries running giant child kidnapping rings.
So the United Nations, an official or a secret dictate from the UN somewhere is, or not maybe people.
No, they officially, the UN officially runs giant air.
Why would they be doing that?
That's why they go into third world countries, Eastern Europe, Africa, Latin America, is to harvest slaves for the giant slave. They have slave ships. They have slave sex ships. That's Associated Press.
Where do these slaves go to, Alex?
They go to Saudi Arabia, Israel, Thailand, and other areas. There's also floating sex slave ships that have been reported on by the Associated Press. Houston Chronicle reported on it. Chicago Tribune. Look, you think I'm joking? Listen, just Google UN white slavery. They've been caught everywhere. DynCorp, Halliburton, Chicago Tribune, giant child kidnapping. The UN admitted that from the year 2000, 2005, over 1 million women and children were trafficked out of Central Europe alone. Well, yeah, the UN should know when they go in to help a country, their main business is going and press ganging women, children. They'll go in, machine gun the men, line them up just like the Romans rolling into Gaul or Germania.
Which forces are making up these?
The Belgians are mainly a pedophile brigade within the UN. They've got a whole bunch of other countries that make up.
I reckon the Belgians would say, you're talking cat.
I just bet you £1 million, brother, and I mean it.
1 million? You would not be able to prove that to me. You can send me to a Googled website, which is probably your own website. You wouldn't be able to Google it. You wouldn't be able to prove it to me, Alex. You probably would. You probably would go to Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com. It's been at the forefront of exposing it, but there'd be dozens of hyperlinks to AP, BBC, everywhere. Listen, just do what I told you. Listen. If I find that on the BBC, I'll give you £1 million.
Just search UN caught running sex traffic. UN caught running white slavery. Search it. I just told you Anwar al-Awlaki secretly hanging out the Pentagon, confirmed, admitted. Come on, pull the trigger. Pull the trigger.
Elizabeth, thank you for that. Great to have you on. Let's take another. There goes Elizabeth. Let's take another call from Daniel, who's near Watford. Daniel.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. What would you like to say?
Hi, good evening. I just wanted to cover a few points. I mean, I've obviously been listening for the last hour or so, and I strongly disagree with quite a few of the things you've said. Now, I mean, just to cover...
That I've said or Alex has said?
Alex has said. Okay. I mean, Alex has said. I mean, what you've said and neither here nor there. So, I mean, Alex, really, the question I want to ask you is, how can you possibly say that any of this mission to do with killing Osama bin Laden was set up in any way? Now, I mean, you take the situation... I mean, you're laughing already. I mean, for example, take what the last guy that was on just said. I completely agree with him. Everything you ever say, and everyone that is like you, that is a conspiracy theorist, and I do categorise you in that
conspiracy theorist. You relish the word. You don't have any intellectual acumen, any gravitas. You just have a label, so you can, your mind can decide snobberishly to say that I don't have documentation.
Come on, fella. Let
me stop right there. Let me stop right there. What was the point you're saying? How can I say? Did you not hear me? May 25th, 2010, Washington Post, the CIA admits that they created fake bin Laden videos. So a group that has created fake videos before...
You've said, yeah. So the fact that you and your friends have made a video and put it on YouTube, that makes it.
You're showing who the conspiracy theory is. I just gave you the date and what to search, Washington Post, and you just said it's going to be on YouTube. I just told you, buddy boy, my source is not YouTube. My source is what I just told you. And when I say Steve Pachinik was on or Hamid Gul was on, these are serious, well-known, respected people today agreeing with me.
Okay,
go ahead. Listen, you can't handle the truth. You can't handle real intellect and red blood. All you've got is shooting your mouth off with that cliched term. I'm not the king of conspiracy. I'm the king of reality.
Daniel, come back on that.
Alex,
in 30 seconds.
I told you, Washington Post. Listen to me. I bet you don't believe that Geraldo Rivera with the Marines admits they grow the opium.
Alex, let Dan respond to that.
In general society, there is a very small sect of people that would be classed...
You're a minority. We're the majority. Listen to your mind control garbage.
I would class you in an extremist group that would account for not
I need to be dealt with immediately. Listen to him. He don't believe the Queen loves us.
No, you are an extremist. You preach hate in a different way.
I'll need to be shut down under the EU Convention on Spreading Radicalism. Shut him up. Shut him up. I don't agree with him. He's giving me too many facts. It's scary. He's an extremist. He's a minority. Oh, I'm a minority. That's why my YouTube videos have millions of views apiece, and 98% of people are voting that they like it. That's why I have millions of listeners. That's why I'm loved all over the world, because I'm a dangerous minority. You listen to me. Ideas are bulletproof, and you cannot stop us. Liberty is rising. The spirit of 1776 is indomitable, and you are a mind-controlled weasel who feels solace in joining the hive Borg of weak disinformation. You are not the intellectual. You are not the person to dictate to me what reality is. Do you understand me, boy? Do you understand me, boy?
Come on, Alex. Let Daniel come back.
Alex,
you are part of a minority. The Borg will absorb you. No one agrees with you, Alex. It's over, Alex.
Racist government MPs and everyone. There are small sects of people that instill fear.
They're all small sector people. Oh, they're all dangerous. Oh, we need to deal with them. Oh, yes, we need to shut them down immediately.
Which do exist, as much as you make a conspiracy theory out of it. These people exist, and they preach hate to a certain community, and you unsuccessfully are attempting to preach hate.
You are part of a minority. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're unsuccessful. You just have sources on YouTube.
Point, Alex.
He made no point. He said I'm defeated. He said I'm losing. I'm winning, and you know it, coward. You know it. Just because you say we're losing, you can feel your lies pouring out. You're losing.
We will find out about the Obama birth certificate.
You're losing. Liberty's rising.
Go away.
Liberty. Liberty! Cry havoc and let loose the dogs of InfoWar.
Our guest is Alex Jones. He's at Infowars.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter via that site. You can have a look at a whole array of stories, and you will know If you didn't already, you do now. That Alex has, I think we can say, passionate opinions on things.
Hey.
Like, for example, the official version versus what maybe he sees as the real version. Here's White House Press Secretary Jay Carney.
There are sensitivities here in terms of the appropriateness of releasing photographs of Osama bin Laden and in the aftermath of this firefight, and we're making an evaluation about the need to do that. It could be inflammatory.
It could be inflammatory, Alex Jones. They don't want to scare folk with a dead corpse with its head shot out.
Yeah, that's totally ridiculous.